If you're gonna go to a movie theater and you're gonna bring your kids to go see a movie, here's the thing I don't understand. There's Inside Out and there's Jurassic World. You can watch one of those two movies for your kids, because you know what? There are some movies in the theaters right now that kids should not see. But no, that was not the case. Today I went to go see Ted and a couple of parents brought their kids. Not just a couple. Another one right here, right here, and right here. I'm just like, what the hell? The kids, they're like, ha ha, and they're like, what's that? I'm like, they're talking about all kinds of nasty stuff, then you have a teddy bear cussing. What's gonna happen when little Timmy says, fuck you, Dad, I want my cookies now, bitch. What are you gonna do now? You see what you did? It's all your fault, man. Ted 2. So Ted 2 is obviously the sequel to the first Ted, and I was actually looking forward to this film because you know what? I really liked the first Ted movie. When I first saw it, it really surprised me because I was like, alright, let's see how Seth McFarlane transitions from television to movies, and he did a pretty good job. It was freaking hilarious. I laughed my ass off throughout the entire movie. And I gotta say, Ted 2 was freaking hilarious. While the first Ted as a movie was structured better and it had less problems than this one, I think looking back, I think this movie made me laugh more than the first one. Here's the thing about the Ted movies. Well, in general, Seth MacFarlane's humor. His type of humor is one of those types that not a lot of people will be a fan of. If you weren't a fan of the first Ted, Ted 2 is not going to win you over. It's the same style of comedy. And if you're not a fan of Seth MacFarlane's, don't even bother watching this movie. As for me, I happen to be a fan of Seth MacFarlane's humor. While there are times where he does go overboard sometimes, where he's like, okay, you got me there. You don't have to keep going. This movie worked in a lot of ways. First off, the chemistry between Ted and Mark Wahlberg, or in this case, Seth MacFarlane and Mark Wahlberg, was great. That was one of the best aspects in the first Ted movie. And in this one, it showcases once again, Marky Mark. My boy Mark Wahlberg was always funny. He was funny in this movie. And this is the thing that Seth MacFarlane needs to do. He needs to play characters. Because in A Million Ways to Die in the West, when he was just himself, that was one of the problems that I had with A Million Ways to Die in the West. It's just Seth MacFarlane, he just didn't have the same star caliber as some of the other comedic stars. And by him, in this case, in Ted, him playing a character, I think that's what he should do. Because that's when he's more alive and that's when he gets to do a lot more funny jokes. So this time around, Mila Kunis is not here, so we have Amanda Seyfried, or Amanda Seyfried, however the hell you pronounce her last name. But in this movie, I felt that she was better than Mila Kunis. But by no means was Mila Kunis terrible in the first Ted movie. I actually liked her. She was funny. In this movie, I felt that Amanda Seyfried was able to show more of her comedic talent, and she was allowed to be more funnier than I felt that in the first movie with Mila Kunis. I felt all the actors did a good job in portraying the characters. Everyone was funny in this movie, and I'm telling you, there's this one scene in this movie where it made the whole theater, including me, just like bust out laughing. Like this movie, there are, not a lot, but there are a couple of bust out laughter moments in this movie. Now, the problems with the movie, yeah, there are a lot of problems with the movie, actually more than the first 10. And the thing that I've noticed with Seth MacFarlane's movies is that all three of them are always too long for their own good. Like with the first 10 movie, it was like, oh man, it's really funny. Then once you got to the third act, it started to drag. It's like, oh man, you could have cut that like about 10 minutes shorter and it would flow a bit better. And that's the thing with Ted 2. There's a lot of subplots and the movie never really focuses on any of these subplots, and it's like all over the place. The script's all over the place and you're like, okay, we're here now, but then it goes from here. The movie's not focused enough. And Giovanni Ribisi's character comes back from the first film, and I felt his character was not necessary to be in the movie at all. Giovanni is a great actor. He's actually really funny in a lot of things. He was actually kind of funny in the first 10 movie. But in this movie, his subplot just feels too forced, and he just feels like he was just shoehorned in. Because by the end of it, you're like, what was the point? He didn't need to be there. And in a lot of cases in this movie, the movie sets up a joke, and it never really delivers the punchline. Just, okay, setting up the joke. No. There's no punchline. What the heck? And the scene just cuts to the next scene. I'm like, what the heck? You set that up and you just don't do anything with it? Really? But here's the thing a lot of people say for comedies. If a movie that's supposed to be funny makes you laugh, you can forgive it for some of its weaknesses that it has for the film. Like for example, like 22 Jump Street. But since the movie's so funny, the mistakes are overshadowed. So you're like, okay, that's fine. The movie's really funny. There are some problems, but the movie made me laugh, so I can forgive it. While the movie did make me laugh a lot, it has its problems, but like a lot of people say, if a comedy film makes you laugh, it did its job well. And that's what this movie did. It was a comedy and it made me laugh a lot. So I'm going to give Ted 2 a solid B. From the comedy movies that we've seen throughout this year, from what I have seen, I definitely think Ted is definitely the best comedy of the year. So guys, that's my review for Ted 2. What did you guys think of the movie? Did you guys like it, or do you think the first film was better? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.